All right, y'all. So the Boston Celtics just picked up the 114-111 win over Indiana, and I know you're thinking, well, that's far too close of a score. They literally didn't have Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, I agree. But what matters is the Boston Celtics just went up 3-0. They just went up there, went up 3-0, and I think, okay, if Boston would have lost this game, which they were very close to doing, Andrew Nembhard was out there hooping, looking like Michael Jordan. They had T.J. McConnell was out there hooping. They had a bunch of people out there hooping that you wouldn't really expect to be doing what they were doing. They won the rebound battle. They lost the turnover battle. They shot terribly from three, but they shot over 50% from the floor overall. Now they shot terribly from three, which is a part of their loss. But in the fourth quarter, T.J. McConnell hit some big threes. Andrew Nembhard hit some big shots. Now Andrew Nembhard also missed some shots late in that fourth quarter, like in the last 2 minutes. I think he missed one or two, and then he got ripped by Jrue Holiday on literally the second to last Indiana possession, the possession with like 1 second left where Jrue Holiday gets fouled on that break. The possession right before that, Jrue Holiday stole the ball from Andrew Nembhard. I don't know what this is on my shirt. It doesn't come off. Shut up. Your apartment dirty, your bedroom dirty, you dirty. I don't want to hear nothing from you. Anyways, Jason Tatum, phenomenal game, phenomenal fourth quarter. You, Jrue Holiday, I'd say Jaylen Brown, really the whole Celtics starting five, except for maybe Derek White, took over in those last 2.5, 3 minutes of that game, because I'd even say maybe 4.5 minutes, because that was a very close back and forth game at that point in the game. It was a game where the Celtics came back from down 18 at this point, and then you get into those last 4 minutes, and for 2 or 3 of those minutes, it was offense. It was one team goes down, score, the other team does the same, bow, and I was about to get on here and criticize the Celtics because I thought they were about to lose. I'm like, how does apparently one of the best defenses in the league just go out here and you can't stop Andrew Nembhard for one possession? But they did it. Jrue Holiday showed up big, was guarding Andrew Nembhard down the final stretch. I think Derek White even got on him a little bit. I don't remember, but I know Jrue Holiday got the steal. I want to say Jrue Holiday even got the contest on that step back midi that Andrew Nembhard missed. But there was a lot of good games in the final few minutes for Celtics players. But overall, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, and the Celtics bench didn't show up tonight. Xavier Tillman did get minutes like I thought he would with the Luke Cornett injury. He got 13 minutes. He went 1 for 1 in 13 minutes with 2 points, 1 foul, 1 board. Not bad, but it's just casual 13 minutes that you expect from your third string center. That's exactly why I thought he would get minutes, because he can give you solid minutes. Peyton Pritchard, 1 for 3, 2 points. Stinky. Sam Hauser, 0 for 3 from 3, 0 points. Stinky. But Jaylen Brown, 10 of 18. Now, you only shot 1 of 5 from 3, but you're the worst shooter on the starting five. With Porzingis there, you are the worst shooter in the starting five. With Horford, I'd maybe say it's Horford, but with Porzingis there, you're arguably the worst shooter out of that starting five, even with Horford. So you going 10 for 18 is great. Not great, but it's good. It's very, 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 very good. It's 10 of 18, 1 of 5 from 3, 24 points. Now, you did not fill up the stat sheet at all. You literally had 3 assists, 2 boards, 3 fouls. You did not fill up the stat sheet at all, but you scored enough to where I'm going to give you, if you would have lost this game, I maybe would have been a little hard on you, because, I need you to get a few more stats, or I need you to do something. I need you to get a few more threes, blah, blah, blah. Especially when you guys see Andrew Nembhard over there cooking you. You see Miles Turner over there cooking you. You see Siakam's having a little bit of a rough game, and then you see T.J. McConnell's coming off the bench looking like Steph Curry. Well, not Steph Curry, because he went 1 for 4 from 3. I don't know, somebody else. Chris Paul, because that midi was going crazy. When you got all that, if they would have lost this game, I would have gave a little more flex to Jaylen Brown, because it's you are a $300 million man and only 24 points on 18 shots. If they would have lost, but since they won, I'm not going to say too much, even though I'd be yapping. Jrue Holiday, 4 of 10, 1 for 6 from 3. Your worst offensive game of the series, but you showed up big when it counted. You hit those free throws at the end. You got that steal from Andrew Nembhard at the end, and you had a decent game. And you showed up in the first 2 games of the series offensively, which were big moments for you to show up in. Really, what this was for me, it looked like a moment where this was a game with not going into the game, because Tyrese Halliburton was out and everything, but at halftime, and definitely within the middle of the third quarter, this would have been an easy game for the Celtics to just say, all right, look, Tyrese Halliburton's not there. He's questionable for game 4. We're already up 2-1 if we lose this game. Do we really care about winning this game now that we're down 18? Do we really care? We see guys like Jrue Holiday, like Derek White aren't performing. We see our bench isn't really performing. We see Tatum's having a good game. We see Jaylen Brown's having a pretty good game. We see Al Horford's having a good game. But do we really care enough about this win to really play these guys big minutes? But then I like that the Celtics came out and they said, you know what? They're letting us stay in it. They're letting us come back. So guess what we're going to do? We're just going to take it and go up 3-0. What we're going to do is we're going to prove to you why we are the team that is the betting favorite, I believe, has been for most of the season besides Denver, to win the championship. And they showed it in those last few minutes. The defense wasn't getting stops until that last minute when they really, really needed them. When their offense, when Jason Tatum hit that 3, and I don't remember if it was to tie the game or if it was to put them down 3, but Jason Tatum hit a 3, top of the key, not wide open, but pretty open, a good space. Now, he got his jumper up a little slow, so it looked like a good contest on the screen, but it really wasn't for the NBA. That's an open shot in the NBA. I think that shot was to cut it to down 3. Now, during these runs, Rick Carlisle, I think timeout should have been called at least once. And let me tell you why. Now, I understand you're trying to save it for the end, which ended up being a good thing. You needed it with 1.7 seconds left to get up the good shot that you got up. He just unfortunately missed the shot to tie the three. I think it was Aaron Nesmith, I believe, missed the shot to tie the three. That's a shot you live with, though, because he was open-ish. Now he's fading away, which you don't like, but there's 1.7 seconds left. You're not going to get a much better shot than that when you're down three going into that possession, right? You can't get a layup or a tip-in or a dunk or whatever, or an oop, because you're down three. So I'm not mad at that shot at all, and I thought it was a good shot. It's just you don't have Tyrese Halliburton out there. You had to give it to Aaron Nesmith, who you're not trusting that much. Whatever. This was one of those games where it just kind of felt like the Celtics outclassed them when it mattered, and that's one of those reasons why I think the Celtics are such a confusing team. Because for most of this game, if your name wasn't Jason Tatum or Al Horford... What did I just say? If your name wasn't Jason Tatum, Al Horford, or maybe Jaylen Brown, you were having a bad game for the Celtics for the most part. Offensively, for the most part. And then guess what happened? In those final minutes, Jason Tatum showed why he's the best player on this team and why he was a top five. Or actually, I don't think he came in fifth. I think Jalen Brunson came in fifth. He came in sixth for MVP. But that shows you why he was a first-team All-NBA player right there, because in that moment, Jason Tatum needed to show up, not just in that moment, but in this game. And guess what he did? 12 of 23, 5 of 10 from 3, 10 boards, 8 assists, 36 points, a game-high 36 points. For the longest time in this game, Andrew Nembhard had the most points in the game. Tatum, when it mattered, boy, you stepped up, and I got nothing to say but this. To my St. Louis brother, I'm so glad you showed up. I'm so glad. Now, for Indiana, you're cooked. You're getting swept. GG. If Tyrese Halliburton isn't there for Game 4, you might lose by 40. Because they're not going to let y'all come out there in Game 4 and then just, do that again. They're not just going to let Andrew Nembhard beat him again. They didn't beat him, but they're not just going to let Andrew Nembhard go out there and cook again. They're going to say, all right, let's just go ahead and take care of this, get a big break going into the finals. Obviously, we don't know if both series are going to be 4-0 sweeps. I think the Timberwolves are too good to get swept by this Mavericks team. So I do think they will have a good amount of rest, especially if they can close this out in 4. They will have a very, very good amount of rest, which is a good thing. Some people say it's a bad thing, whatever. I think it's a good thing, especially with Porzingis still out. You want him back for the finals, so the more rest you can get him, the more healthy you can get your guys, the better. I understand you might get a little rusty, but I think whether you play Dallas or you play Minnesota, I do think the Celtics are simply the better team, so I feel like they'll be okay, and they, again, are still undefeated on the road in these playoffs. It wasn't a good game for Boston. It was a good, final 3 minutes for Boston, but Boston did not play a good game, but they pulled out the win. Go up 3-0. I expect them to get the sweep on Monday, I think. I expect Monday or Tuesday, whenever the next game is. I assume it's Monday. I expect them to complete the sweep. I expect them to make it to the finals, and my prediction from the beginning of the year is looking right with the Celtics winning the championship.